Hello, Miriam at the Bureau with a weather update video. A heads up about a strong, windy and wintry cold front that is expected to develop this weekend and move across the southeastern states between Sunday and Tuesday. Now, the strong winds really are the key impact of concern with this cold front, so I'm going to start by taking a closer look at those winds. Now, I'm looking at the winds above the surface, around 1.5 k's above the ground. The reason for this is it will give me an impression not of the mean wind speeds, but the strength of the top wind gusts that we could see moving through with the front and in the wake of the frontal system. Now, winds through the course of Saturday are likely to be moderate to fresh across the southeast as a low pressure trough moves through. But broadly speaking, these should ease back Saturday night going into early Sunday. It's at that time that we'll see the next weather system approaching, a much stronger cold front coming up across the Great Australian Bight. It will push towards the South Australian coast through the course of Sunday, with northwesterly winds really ramping up through southeastern South Australia and Victoria in particular. Now, these winds are coming from the northwest, coming from those drier parts of inland Australia, so we could see some areas of raised dust ahead of this frontal system. So widespread strong and gusty winds are likely. We could see areas of damaging winds developing as well, and we will be issuing severe weather warnings for damaging winds where we expect those to occur across the weekend. It will be a very windy night for the likes of Melbourne and Adelaide as this front approaches and moves through. Through the day on Monday, the cold front will push across Victoria and Tasmania towards the New South Wales coast with very strong westerly and then southerly winds pulling up behind the cold front. We are likely to see a low pressure system developing in the wake of the cold front, and it is likely to keep those strongest winds across the mainland. So Tasmania may not see as windy conditions as we're expecting a little bit further north. Of course, which areas will see those damaging winds are going to depend on how the cold front develops and how that low pressure system develops through the course of the weekend. As we go into the later part of Monday and Tuesday, the cold front will move off the New South Wales coast, but very vigorous westerly flow will continue across New South Wales, barreling across the Great Dividing Range and bringing damaging wind gusts to parts of the New South Wales coast through Tuesday as well. We're not likely to see those winds really easing back until we go into Wednesday and we see a weaker wind system moving through with this high pressure system. Now, this is going to be the first really windy cold front of the winter season, so trees will be more susceptible to those strong winds than they would be in the middle or later part of the season. So fallen trees and tree branches are likely across this period as the front moves through. This will lead to dangerous driving conditions, as will strong crosswinds, which are also expected through this period. We could see some power outages and damage to properties as these winds rip across the southeast as well. Taking a look at the rainfall now, we could see some isolated showers ahead of the front, but fairly dry conditions for many on the through the day on Sunday. As the front moves through, we'll see a broader band of rain moving in, reaching South Australia late Sunday into early Monday, and then pushing towards Victoria and Tasmania. Now, in the wake of the system, in the strong west to southwesterly winds, we are likely to see large waves and abnormally high tides developing for parts of South Australia as well. Through the day on Monday, the cold front will keep moving east, and we are going to see widespread showers, isolated thunderstorms and possible hail spreading across the southeastern states as the air turns colder. Now, the coldest air is likely to move in with the southerly winds. That's most likely late Monday going into early Tuesday. So it's that period when we could see snow about our alpine peaks. Snow level could drop down to around 1,200 metres on the mainland, a little bit lower for Tasmania. How much snow we see reaching the ground, though, will depend on how quickly this frontal system moves through. We may also see those large waves and abnormally high tides reaching parts of Victoria and Tasmania, as well as South Australia through that Monday period. Through Tuesday, we're going to see those showers continuing, persisting across parts of New South Wales, even as the front moves away. But as this high pressure system moves in from the west, some drier conditions will eventually return to parts of South Australia and Victoria, even though it will stay very cold at this time in these southerly winds. Quickly looking at the rainfall accumulations from midnight last night out to midday on Tuesday, we can see that the top accumulations are likely about those elevated parts of southeast Australia and across Tasmania. However, we may see some moderate falls across parts of southwest Victoria and southeast and South Australia. They peter out fairly quickly inland, but across that period we may see 15 to 25 millimetres or so accumulating. Now, as this system develops across the weekend, it will be imperative to stay on top of all of our forecasts and warning updates. You can do that via the Bureau's website, the BOM weather app, or via our social media. Have a good day and we'll catch you next time.